And moments ago, President Trump at the White House signing the Halt All Lethal Trafficking of Fentanyl Act live at the White House. It strengthens penalties for fentanyl trafficking by permanently classifying street versions of the drug as Schedule I substances.
This open borders nightmare flooded our country with fentanyl and with people that shouldn't be here, some of the worst people on earth. And illicit drugs decimated American communities and left us with the largest law enforcement challenge in our country's history, and hopefully will always be the largest. I can't imagine anything being worse.
All right, with that, we bring in the man who runs ICE, the acting director, Todd Lyons. We spent a lot of today speaking with some of your people here in the Dallas office. Director Lyons, thank you. It's good to have you with us today.
Oh, thanks, Martha, for having me, and thanks for really highlighting the great work the men and women of ICE do. I really appreciate you devoting that much time to let them tell you their story.
Well, you know, we played for them. Obviously, this is a very fraught situation. You have a lot of people in the media, a lot of people, you know, on the street, and a lot of pushback to what ICE is doing. I just want to play this accusation that ICE is doing racial profiling or that they are roving to pick up just anybody on the street. This is a soundbite from CNN. Watch.
There are no limits on being a target. The only main concern is like he looks brown, he looks different, he don't speak English. He's the one. It doesn't matter.
Your reaction to what that man has to say and what the process is?
That's absolutely false. And, you know, I can tell you, the individuals and the officers and agents you interviewed today, I've worked personally with them. The one veteran, Paul, that you talked to, him and I have worked together since our beginning of our careers. And I can tell you that what the men and women of ICE do every day is amazing work. They're not out there racially profiling. They're a professional law enforcement agency. And when, you know, rhetoric like that or statements like that get out, it totally diminishes what ICE does. Kind of like the statement you had from the representative in Rhode Island, where he talked about our neighbors being arrested by the Gestapo. Well, what that representative failed to bring up was the fact that he was an MS-13 gang member who had a pending charge for fentanyl distribution. So that's the problem when people start politicizing the law enforcement mission of ICE. It really degrades what we're doing and what we're doing for the American people.
You know, I mean, the tone is so different now. And one of the things that I think is a difference that Paul, I believe, pointed out in the interview is that the reason that you saw numbers of deportation under President Obama even a little bit higher than what we're seeing under President Trump is that there's nothing happening at the border anymore. We saw that image before of people storming the fences at the border. And now the extractions are coming from the interior, from businesses, from establishments where people where ICE agents are going in and taking people out. Obviously, that's a much more difficult and a much more contentious process at this stage of the game, right?
Well, 100%. And I think that's one thing that's kind of left out of the whole narrative is the fact that under previous administrations, there was great cooperation with ICE. There weren't as many sanctuary cities, if any, where now it's, you know, the law enforcement mission, like I said, has been now turned into a political football. And it puts the men and women of ICE in the crosshairs, not only for danger, but just being used and our mission being used to someone's political gain. And it's not effective for the American population.
I want to ask you about this July 8th memo that you put out that declared that detained migrants, so these are people mostly on the interior of the country, are ineligible for bond hearing and may not be released if they are here as unauthorized migrants. So essentially, if they're arrested, they're going to be held all the way through their hearing, which could take months, could even potentially take years. And some reports say we're talking about millions, potentially, of people in that category. How do you respond to that?
Well, Martha, that's what one of the things we did was the fact that that's an opinion for the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security. And what it basically is doing is, under the last administration, we saw so many people that were apprehended illegally coming through the border, and then using the bond system just to go ahead and be released out into the community to have a court date in, 2037, 2035, and never show up for court. Illegal aliens that are in custody under Section 236 of the law, they are still getting bond determinations. But those who did not cross or weren't legally admitted into the United States, they're not eligible right now. And that's based on the law.
All right, so that it is not people who have lived here for 20 years who you arrest. Do they get a bond hearing?
Yeah, they go ahead. If they fall into Section 236 of the law, by all means, they receive their due process. And that's what Department of Justice has been working with ICE on that.
All right, that's what Andres said as well. Thank you very much, Director Lyons, and thank you for allowing us to speak to some of your people today. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.